Hello, welcome to the Courageous Self-Care podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On this show, we talk about self-care that is strategic. Sometimes self-care can really get to the back burner. And what I believe is that if we incorporate self-care into our way of being, then it never has to be something that we're putting on hold until the weekend or until our next vacation. It becomes simply a way of living your life so that you know that you're coming from a place of prioritizing your own well-being. And there's absolutely nothing selfish about that, because the more we give to ourselves, the better quality of giving and love we can give to others. So I think that that is super important. And also what is happening right now is that I'm doing a series of festival insider interviews because I have the Courageous Self-Care Festival coming up here in November in Calgary. And I've got speakers and wellness marketplace vendors who are amazing, phenomenal people who are super passionate about how they show up in the world and what they can do to serve. And they are just too good to keep to the one-day festival. And I know you listeners are spread all around the world, and I want you to have access to these amazing people as well. So I am featuring today Andrea Muir and Laura Ashburn. We're doing something a little different. We've got 3 people on today. It's going to be great energy. So Andrea and Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Christina.
You are so welcome. So we're going to start off with getting each of you to say a little bit about who you are and what you love to do.
Okay, I am going to go first. So yes, my name is Andrea Muir, and I live in beautiful Calgary, Canada, for those of you listening from all other parts of the world. I am a fitness instructor and have been in the industry for over 10 years. But what I'm really, really passionate about is connecting busy people with powerful nutritional solutions and providing them with simple systems and tools to empower them to unleash their best life. And my goal is to help them do that a lot faster than I ever did, because it took me years, Christina, to figure things out.
Yes.
So I'm all about helping people get there faster. I'm a mom of 2, well, actually 4, 2 fur babies and 2 kids. And we live in Calgary with my beloved husband. And so yeah, that's about me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Andrea. And Laura, how about you?
My name's Laura. I am a registered nurse by day, evenings, and weekends, and a mom of 2 girls. And in my spare time, I've partnered with Andrea to promote health and wellness and advocate for living your best life.
It sounds like you really need that since your nursing takes up so much of your time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I just want to touch on what you said, Andrea. When we try to do things all by ourselves and figure it out all by ourselves, which is what we are kind of taught to do. We're taught to be strong, independent women who can do it all. It takes a long time. And so that's one of the reasons why this festival is so important to me, is to create this connection and community with a host of people who have solutions that can really decrease the amount of time that we spend suffering and increase the amount of time we have living in joy and vitality.
That's just exactly it, Christina. And that's why I'm so inspired and I love doing what I do, because I personally, this is all coming from my personal experience. I struggled for a lot of years on my own. I mean, I still believe I'm Wonder Woman, but I just really had to surrender and realize that it's okay to be vulnerable and to ask for help. And we don't have to do this alone.
Yes, I'm covered in goosebumps, and that's because that is the truth, and that is my experience too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'd love for each of you to take a moment to share what you're going to be talking about and sharing at the festival and why it's important to you.
So I'm going to go first, I guess, and I kind of already started to answer your question.
Yeah.
At the festival, I'm going to be talking about easy to follow, simple tools and solutions that completely changed my life And I always joke that convenience should be my middle name because I'm all about convenience. We are a busy family. Kids are busy. We're always on the go. And for example, personally, I don't have a lot of time to necessarily spend in the kitchen, for example. And when we're running from school to hockey practice or gymnastics, it's so relieving to know that I have what we need and we can have all these things on the go. And at the festival, also, I'm going to be talking to people about the 3 transformational secrets, okay? And these are the things that it took me years to figure out. And I invested a lot of money. I learned from the best in the world. I traveled. I went all the way to Fiji for one of my events, which I'm not complaining about that. But I just put together, it's kind of like this roadmap. I put together the puzzles from all the pieces. So I talk about mindset, and I talk about emotional fitness, and I talk about vitality, because when we feel good, we do good. So yeah.
I totally agree with that, and it's so important. And I can identify with the traveling all over the place and investing lots of time and energy and money. And I was just thinking about that. It seems like there is this group of people who are like adventurers, and they are on the cusp, like the wave of the paradigm shift of how human consciousness is shifting. So there's, first of all, the experts who figured it out a long time ago. And then there's this wave of adventurers who are going out and learning from those experts. And then what we get to do is bring it back to people who are struggling and suffering. And yeah, so I feel like an adventurer along with you.
There you go.
And Laura, how about you?
Yeah, just I'd like to touch on what Andrea was saying and talking about convenience. I think as women, especially, and for those of us that are mothers, we lead very busy lives, and we're juggling a lot of things all at one time. So I think it's really important to focus on just trying to simplify things, make things more convenient, and just focusing on making even just one small step or one small change. And I think that those small changes over time lead to they can have the biggest impact. So even, just to courageously say, I'm really busy right now, but I'm not feeling well, or, I'd like to do something positive in my life right now. So I'm just even taking that one little small step can have such a profound impact on your life. Just trying to incorporate just the little things.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you're bringing up, Laura. I have definitely been someone who has tried to take giant leaps and make gigantic changes all at once. And it's taken me a long time to learn that is not really the best approach. It's not sustainable, whether it's healing or whether it's learning or implementing new things, creating new habits. You're so right. It's about making small changes that we can keep up with. And a lot of the time, even those tiny changes do take tremendous courage. Anytime we're stepping out of the familiar and moving into something that is going to transform our lives, it does take a lot of courage. And so I appreciate you bringing up that point. So we're going to shift into the kind of the second half of the interview and go a little bit deeper into courageous self-care. And so I'm curious for both of you. Andrea, you can go first. What does self-care mean to you?
I used to think about self-care and think that taking myself for a pedicure and a manicure or even a massage was practicing self-care. And please don't get me wrong, I still do think those things qualify as self-care, but and that's why I fell in love when I met you and everything you stand for, because if I think about self-care, we have to be courageous to really practice that. And especially, just like Laura said, as mothers, I think we give so much of ourselves to a lot of people, including our kids and our spouses. And you know what? We can't pour from an empty cup. For the longest time, whenever I'll be on a plane and I would hear, well, if the oxygen mask drop, you have to put it on yourself first before you can help others. And I would think in my head, no way, especially if I'm sitting next to my kids, I'm going to put that on first on them. And then years went by, and life taught me that it is really true. I mean, for me to be able to assist my kids or whomever's sitting next to me on that plane, I got to put that oxygen mask on myself first. And then I was in an event and I heard this and I thought it was genius. If the queen or king don't eat first, the kingdom will fail. And I'm like, yes. I mean, it's so true. So for me, self-care is taking care of myself, doing the really things that set my soul on fire, doing things that bring me joy. I'm a Zumba instructor, so I love to dance. So and I connect with people that way. And I'm really pleased when I get to see somebody take an hour of their time, for example, to go do what they love to do and forget about grocery shopping lists and to-do lists and the businesses and chores and the bank and all those things, and just really, truly take care of yourself. So whatever that is like for everybody is going to be different, but I encourage people to do that, whether it's yoga, meditating, working out. Yes, go for that pedicure and the manicure, for the massage, but be courageous and be brave and protect your energy, because I really truly believe that's our true superpower is our energy, and that's when it's so important to practice self-care.
I love it. I think energy is exactly self-care, and if we're feeling low on energy, it's not up to anyone else to fix that. It's up to us to, like you said, create that sacred container around our energy, nourish ourselves first. And self-care is different for everyone. Like for some people, work is self-care because I absolutely love working because it fills me up. I love giving talks. I love creating a podcast. I love writing. That is self-care to me. And it would not be caring to me to have a quote unquote traditional job. I did that, and my energy was so different when I did have that job. And so, I just want to make that point that self-care is different for everyone, and touch on how you explained it, Andrea. It was perfect, is that self-care is discovering and then making time for what lights you up and fills you up and gives you the energy to pour out.
Exactly.
Yes. Love it. Okay, Laura, how about you? What does self-care mean to you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about this question in preparation for the podcast, and it's actually changed for me from the festival time last year. So I think courageous self-care, 1, is evolving, but then 2, it's about no's and yeses. And what I mean by that is that it's about having the courage to say no to things that don't align with your goals and don't prioritize your own well-being. But it's also about saying yes to things that challenge, having the courage to say yes to things that challenge you and trying new things, taking risks of doing something that you wouldn't normally do that are really scary, but in the end will allow you to be a better person and a more courageous person. So that I think that self-care evolves, and that you can say no, but you can also say yes.
I love it. Goosebumps again. Truth bumps, Laura. Great points. And in some of the retreats that I've facilitated, I've done movement pieces around these no's and these yeses, because we can get into habits of saying no when we mean yes and yes when we mean no. And what I discovered was there's a passive no and a powerful no. And there's also a passive yes and a powerful yes. And so that's exactly what you were talking about. When you say no to something, but your spirit is like, yes, that would be amazing if you would just have the courage. Or if you're saying a passive no when really you wish you were saying yes to yourself, those aren't serving us. And so we want to be empowered by our yeses and our nos, saying yes to what takes courage to move through when we are feeling some energetic tension around it, and saying a powerful no to things that don't align with our purpose and our passion, with things that don't align to our current state of energy. And the gift of saying a powerful no is that you're saying a powerful yes to yourself.
That's very true.
Yes. I love it. Thank you for bringing that up. Woohoo! Yes. I knew this interview was going to be energizing. I'm feeling fantastic. So for the courage part, I'm curious and would love to hear something that from each of you, something that not a lot of people know about you.
Well, I can think of one thing that actually took a lot of courage to do, but I had to say yes to myself. Not a lot of people know that I'm a biker. I don't have a bike right now because I'm in between seasons, and I'm a Harley Davidson type of gal. So I really love doing that, and the freedom that you feel when it's just you on the road, feeling the wind on your face, and just being with nature if you're hopefully out in the mountains. So yes, a lot of people don't know that about me.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm curious, Andrea, how did you, what do I want to ask? How did you uncover that passion and lean into it?
Well, Christina, it's not really a deep story. It's almost funny. I had this friend whose husband had a Harley Davidson, and my husband owns a Porsche, a convertible. And one day we just said, let's just switch. And I got the back of the bike, and then my friend Susan sat on the convertible with Brad, and I just fell in love with the feeling of the wind, like I said, the wind on your face and that freedom, and it's just you on the road. And I don't know, there was something magical that happened that day, and I just knew I wanted to have a bike and on the road kind of thing.
Yeah, you said it's not a deep story, but it's a powerful story because you said a powerful yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And deep inside my soul just knew, and I loved everything about it. The leather chaps and the jackets, and I just felt like, I hope it's okay to say, like such a badass that I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do this because I'm a badass.
And I think that's so important too. Like if you're wanting a quality or a virtue like freedom in your life, it's important to give that to yourself in a way that you can truly experience it. And then when you have that embodied experience, which is what you're talking about, the wind and the fashion and the physical experience, then you're going to bring more of that automatically into your life. And so it's not like we have to work hard to get these things. What we need to do is find what we love and do more of that.
Exactly. That's what it's about.
Yes. Love it. Thanks for sharing that, Andrea. And how about you, Laura? What's something that not a lot of people know about you?
Well, this was something that I thought most people did know about me, but I just discovered earlier in the week that a lot of people still don't know that I'm an identical twin.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. I thought it was just something that it's just such an integral part of my being. I just assume that everybody knows, but I was chatting with some colleagues at work, and it came up that I have a twin sister, and they were just blown away.
Yeah, I love that. I can identify with that experience of people not knowing. This one is because I was attached to it. Like when I was in school, I was a straight A student, top of the class. People came to me with their questions and I would help them with their homework. And that was so much a part of who I was. And then I remember once I was out of school, I kind of lost that, the comfort of people knowing that about me. And I remember when I was a teacher, a student came up to me once and said, alluded to the fact that because I was a dance and phys ed teacher, I must be really dumb. And I said, are you kidding? I had 6 years of education to become this teacher, plus 20 years of dance training, plus I'm a really smart person. And so it was, I can identify with what you're saying about how it's such an integral part of you. And then to not have people know about that it's kind of confusing. And so, yeah, for me, I lost, I went through a period of not really knowing who I was and how I could convey this really important concept to people, that I'm really smart.
Oh, kids, they have no filter too, right?
Yeah. And
Oh,
so it was a lesson in
funny.
detachment and just showing up as who I am and not having to convince people that I am a certain way.
You're smart. Yes, you are.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Laura. So what I want to give people the opportunity to do, because I know they're going to have connected with what you've been talking about, you've made some really powerful points that are perfect teachings for courageous self-care and for what you offer. So if you could each share how people can connect with you online, because lots of our listeners aren't going to be able to attend the festival and experience your amazingness in person. How can they find you in the internet world?
In the internet world, don't you just love that world? It really brings us together.
It does.
So people can go to my website, which is Andrea C for Christina Muir, AndreaCmuir.com. And in there, if you want to download my free ebook, and I talk about the 4 most common mistakes that people make when it comes to weight loss, weight wellness, and how to organically hack those and be successful in your journey of either losing weight or just maintaining that healthy weight.
Ooh, that sounds like a really valuable resource. So definitely get your hands on that. Well, your virtual hands. And if you didn't catch the website, it's in the show notes, so you can simply click on there and be whisked magically away to get that resource. Thanks, Andrea. And how about you, Laura?
I would love for people to reach out to my email, which is wonder.woman@shaw.ca, and we can meet for coffee and talk about those, what I was saying earlier in the podcast, just those small changes to make to have profound impact on our lives.
Beautiful. And if people can't have coffee in real life, you can each sip coffee while you're on the internet.
Zoom.
On Zoom. Good. Okay.
Right.
Good. Yeah. So you can connect with people anywhere, no matter where they are too, right?
That's right.
Okay, perfect. So I'll put that, I will put that, but now that you're listening to it, it's already happened. So it's time warp. Then Laura's email will be in the show notes, or is in the show notes as well. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing such powerful wisdom and solutions and big ideas around courageous self-care. I'm really looking forward to experiencing more of you at the festival.
I just can't wait, and I can't believe a year has gone by, and now the festival is around the corner. So I hope to see you all there. Come say hello. And Christina, thank you so much for having us and for providing this platform to fully step into our purpose and fulfill our vision and our mission. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm really looking forward to the festival as well. Last year, it was such a lovely day, and the energy was amazing. And I think it'll just be bigger and better this year.
That is the plan. Although last night, I think I had 3 separate nightmares about it. It's a big focus right now. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, I didn't feel good after each of those. So get the stress out now, and the actual day will be amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I didn't have my talk ready, and it was very stressful.
Dude, don't give me ideas now, Christina, for
That's
my
right.
nightmares.
So if you are local, if you are willing to make a trip, we would love to have you at the festival. Like Laura said, it is a really beautiful day. The feedback I got from a lot of participants was that it was totally transformational. So I would love to have you there. Whether you're someone who you have no idea about self-care and you're just starting out, or if you're someone who has been on the journey and are looking for small tweaks to make, like Laura was talking about, there will be someone there who will appeal to you for sure. There's a bunch of different speakers that you can choose from. It's choose your own adventure to hear from various speakers throughout the day. And then the wellness marketplace is available all day. And my goal with that is to broaden the attendees' perspective on what self-care actually is. So there are lots of traditional ideas of self-care, and then there's also brand new ones. And I love when people say, oh, I never thought of that as self-care. So that's who is populating the wellness marketplace. Plus we've got prizes and lots of prizes. That's a reason to come in itself. So if you are available, as a thank you for listening to this podcast right until the end, I would love to offer you a free ticket, and you can even bring a friend for free. All you need to do is go to the link that is in the show notes or type in selfcareticket.com into your browser, and then click on any of the activate your ticket buttons, fill out your name and email, and I will get you all the information that you need to have an amazing experience. So I look forward to seeing you there. If not, thank you so much for listening, and too bad that you don't get to come, but oh well. And Laura and Andrea, thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you, Christina.
You're
have a
so
great
welcome.
day, everyone.
Yep, I will. Yeah, you have a great day, and I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.